So I go to college, right? And at my college, the recreational volleyball scene has been, for the last 2 years, really suffering. Um, we'll have like a lot of people who turn out, and like, there's a good amount of interest and stuff, and like, why did I break that? It can be fun, but typically we have it so that we're playing like not actual games. Wow, it's like, oh, but it's still just wood, but it is a darker log. So that's interesting. I can build with that. Okay, I'll get more of that later. I'm going the wrong way, like entirely, like super wrong way. But I've been trying to fix it. It's basically been impacted from COVID because the indoor gyms were closed, and then so people were like, as things loosened up, people were like, all right, let's just play some grass volleyball, and that's cool. And then like, since it would be hard to just organize, like, well, it wouldn't have been that. It would be hard to organize games when there's more than 12 people and there's one net. So like we generally would just do king of the court, which, if you don't know, is basically just like, there's a line for every position, and then there's a serving line, and somebody serves the ball, you play out the point, whoever loses is off the court, and whoever wins goes to the king's side. And if it's the king's side who won, they just stay on. And so it's really inclusive because anybody can just, like, it's as simple as hopping in line, and then you'll be on a volleyball court and you can play. But what it does mean is that there's a lot of times where like somebody fucks up the pass or something like that, or somebody like just a silly mistake happens, or like an unlucky thing happens where just the king side just has a good pass and a good set and a good attack, and then you waited in line to get on, and then you're just immediately off again. And that can happen a lot. I mean, I became very, very active in the scene, and I would have several days where like I would maybe play in total like 15 minutes of volleyball despite being there for 3 hours, and that sucks. That, like, full stop, that just sucks. But on the other hand, if you have people there who are new, or they don't have that much time, they just want to stop in, like, then Kings is really nice because you can just hop in for a bit, move around a bit, and then go, or it's low stakes. But nobody really likes it, like, especially the people who go a lot. They're like, man, Kings kind of sucks. And so I realized, like, well, listen, we have, I gotta make sure I'm saying things coherently. Basically, wait, am I gonna get attacked? Oh, I didn't. Cool. But yeah, so some people just genuinely do really like Kings, but to be completely honest with you, I think they just haven't played like actual 6v6 games, so they don't really know what they're missing. But their opinion is their opinion. If they truly just do like the Kings more, then it's fine. But I've been trying to fix it, and people appreciate me for doing it, but at the same time it's very stressful because I basically have to make everybody happy. I mean, I don't have to, but that's what I'm trying to do, is make everybody happy, because I want people to go to open gyms, and I want people to enjoy open gyms, and I want to enjoy open gyms. And the way things were, pretty much none of that was happening. And so that's been stressful. There was one specific day a couple days ago where it was when I had first presented my plans, or rather my ideas, to the community. We have like a community Discord server, and I was like, listen guys, we're gonna start doing 6v6 games at open gym. This means that there will be less Kings or no Kings. We only have 2 courts, so it's kind of hard, but we're going to be, trying to organize things more. I'm going to bring a sign-up sheet. These are going to be how we run the games, as how teams are going to be placed on and off the courts and things like that. And the reaction was generally good. People were like, oh yeah, this is great. But then there were like some people who were like instantly concerned. And admittedly, I was mildly I don't know. I'll explain what I wanted to say in a second because it's too early to say that. But basically, I was like, there will be no more kings. We will be unless we have more than 6 full teams. Because basically, the way I had it orchestrated is that every single point, if there are 6 teams, 2 new teams will come up and 2 teams will be off, which means that at most you're off for 1 game. That's what that means. It means that you at most will play every other game, and it's an actual 6v6 game, which means you're on the court 50% of the time that you're there, and that's way more than you can say for kings. Unless you are playing kings with a small amount of people. I don't know. I also don't want to talk about this for too long, but I care about it. And people were like, oh, well, what about people who are busy? What about newer players? What about this? What about that? And I'm like, I was trying my best to stay civil and be like, yeah, I mean, the accessibility will suffer a bit and the inclusivity will suffer a bit, but I'm doing everything I can to, counteract that by being really open, being really available, and organizing things. And again, I tell them I'm not above them. It's not like I was given some power by the athletics department. I probably shouldn't say what college I go to, but by the college athletics department. It's like they gave me the authority to be like, this is how open gyms are now run. You have to listen to me. But I'm just I'm just someone who wants to organize it, because most people don't want to put in that effort, but I do, because I care about open gyms at volleyball. And the thing is that, when I started playing volleyball, I put my whole life into it. I think that volleyball is probably the #1 thing that drives me every day. I say this a lot, but if I couldn't play volleyball, I would have nothing. I wouldn't have nothing, but nothing would mean anything to me anymore. Well, it's just crazy how much I love the sport. But I started working out for volleyball, and then now I'm in really great shape, and I constantly work out for volleyball, and I play a lot of volleyball. And while I don't expect other people to do that, I've progressed an insane amount in 2 years at volleyball. And I don't expect every new player to do that. I don't expect really anyone to do that. It's well, not anyone, but it's definitely uncommon to do that, to pour yourself into a hobby that you just started. But I know that when I was starting, I would have really liked what I proposed, what I proposed today. I would have liked that, it would have been, I would have improved a lot faster. And I especially would have appreciated there being someone who is at the center of everything, and who is, nice and friendly and is motivated to make things good. And that's what I've been doing. And generally people are like, yeah, this is great. But that specific day, there were 4 or 5 people who just went all out on me and were, they were on the edge of being civil. I think there were a couple people who were just straight up rude and mean and a bit they basically, those 5 people, since everybody who liked it didn't really feel the need to discuss it because they liked it, there was nobody really helping me out. They basically, since it was 5v1, basically they were just yeah, no, but what about people who are this? What about people who are that? And it's that's not most people. And as a group, should we not cater to most people? It's at least 75% of people who go to open gyms pretty regularly and want it to be rewarding to do so. But then there's people who are like, well, what about people who can only show up for 30 minutes? I'm like, then you can only show up for 30 minutes. I'm sorry, I can't plan around an event for, you know, a group with like an average of like 30 to 50 people who show up. I can't cater the events of that to you, you know, like, and that's a super selfish way of thinking, but like, obviously can't say that, you know, like I need to remain civil and try to like and be nice, but like at the same point, they just like they didn't have a good point. And there were some people who did make a good point where, like, you know, if we have a lot of people, like, it might just be better to dial things back a bit and accept that, you know, Kings is more inclusive and people don't want to just wait around. Even if, like statistically, they would play more volleyball if they just waited for the Sixes game, it, you know, it's not moving as fast. And so I kind of get that. And so, like, I dialed things back a little bit, but still, like, yeah, to be honest, I don't really even want to talk about that much anymore. It's not really the point of this.